All right, so today we're talking about Don't Generate, Discriminate, a proposal for grounding language models to real-world environments. This paper is pretty interesting in that it proposes something pretty simple that makes sense and makes results of that we get out of LLMs better. And the very short version is that instead of asking the agent to generate an answer for you, you will get better results if you generate several possible answers ahead of time and then ask the agent to choose one of those answers. So basically, turning an open answer thing into a multiple choice thing makes the agent or makes the overall result better. And this maybe seems a little bit surprising at first, but it makes total sense when you figure out that what they're talking about is creating the candidate answers using some kind of what they call symbolic agent. And the advantage of that is that, so this symbolic agent is not a language model. This is a language model. But the symbolic agent has the advantage of being like you can make it do whatever you want. So it can be deterministic. It can propose things that are grammatically correct, or it can propose correct SQL code, or just correct code. Things that are sometimes challenging to get out of a large language model. You can have some kind of out-of-bound process to create possible answers, and then the language model will have an easier time choosing one of those answers rather than generating the answers from scratch. So that's basically it. That's kind of the whole idea, and all paper is about sort of explaining that and then benchmarking it and illustrating how it works in detail. And they use this kind of Lisp-like language to build up plans, and they also have this iterative approach where they build up basically what they want to get at the end. Their task that they're focusing on is getting information out of knowledge bases. And to get information out of a knowledge base, you can use queries in this kind of syntax. So this looks a bit like Lisp functions. And the nice thing about it is that you can build this step by step. So here they kind of demonstrated there are 4 steps, T1, T2, T3, and T4. And at each step, this little robot, which is this symbolic agent, proposes, in this case, 3 different things. And then the language model, which is either BERT, which I love the icon, or I think here they use OpenAI Codex. And this paper is like a year old, so nowadays it would be something like ChatGPT, but here they use Codex. Anyway, a language model chooses one of those proposed plans, one of those candidate plans, and then tells that to the symbolic agent, and now we have the next step. Now symbolic agent knows that, okay, now we chose this one, so given this one C, what is the next thing we should do? What is the next step? Well, it's maybe, there are 3 possibilities, and then the language model chooses the next one. And so it goes until the language model decides that this is it, that's the end, we can finish, so now our plan is ready. So here they do this kind of thing step by step. I'm not sure how important it is that you can do this step by step. I think that would, like, the whole technique could potentially also be useful when you just, have one shot at doing things. So like you have several candidate answers and your language model chooses one. I don't know if the benefit would be bigger or smaller in this kind of scenario, but the important thing is that this idea of decoupling the symbolic part from the generative part, and actually not using language model for generation, but using it for discrimination, so choosing one of several options. And I think this kind of workflow applies probably in many situations. It does have some downsides, and I also discuss it in the limitations. The biggest one being that it takes more work and takes more computational power and more time, because first you need to do this one process of selecting candidate answers or suggesting candidate answers, and then you still need to ask the language model to choose one of them. And I think the other limitation is that it's not obvious that in every case you'll be able to create the symbolic agent that does a good job giving you suggestions. Sometimes it might create suggestions that are sort of grammatically correct, but not high quality. So I think that that's also a challenge. But overall, I think it's worth experimenting with this kind of approach for your problems. Hope you enjoyed it.